You know, I'm of the opinion that Kelsey Mitchell, the star guard of the Indiana Fever, is the most underrated basketball player in the WNBA. No, scratch that. The most underrated basketball player in the WNBA and the NBA, all things considered. And she's been that not just this year. I think she's been one of the more underrated players for quite some time, as Kelsey Mitchell is a walking 20 to 25 points in the WNBA. And just for context, ladies and gentlemen, uh, in the NBA, she is a walking 25 to 27 points on any given night. Maybe even give it a 30 burger. Give it a 30. But I think that Caitlin Clark being in Indiana has overshadowed her even more so than in the past. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Tony the Savant, and before we get started, please like this video, share this video, hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I'm dropping content and going live on the channel as well. If you have not already, subscribe. As I drop content daily, go live daily, stay very busy on the platform. And last but not least, please leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section, as I'm always intrigued to know what you all have to say about these topics. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, I said what I said. Kelsey Mitchell is the most underrated basketball player in all of basketball. I doubt that you can find another basketball player that produces the way she produces and is overlooked the way she's overlooked. And I say that respectfully to all basketball players, to be frank. Hold on one second, y'all. I had I had Kelsey Mitchell's stats I needed to look at real quick for the video. Forgive me for the stalling. But anyway, and again, I don't think that her being overlooked has just begun. I think this has been the case for her career for quite some time, which is kind of a disadvantage, because the WNBA has such a deep pool of star guards. When you think about the Sabrina Ionescu's, the Kelsey Plums, the Arike Agumbales, Jewel Lloyd, Jackie Young. I mean, you can keep it going. Chelsea Gray, Skylar Diggins, even. And then you got her teammate, Caitlin Clark. You know, it's very difficult for me to. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying to talk into. It's very difficult for me to name a lot of players that that Kelsey Mitchell is or isn't better than. Because on any given night, she could be better than all of those players. And I think this season alone, if you haven't been watching her in previous years, this season alone has showcased that, as she has consistently been an offensive threat and contributor for the Indiana Fever. I would argue that what Kelsey Mitchell brings to the table directly impacts what Caitlin Clark is able to do. She relieves Caitlin Clark of a lot of pressure, albeit Caitlin Clark is guarded 94 feet and, has a little bit more of a press coverage on her. What Kelsey Mitchell does, it allows for Caitlin Clark to get half of her points half of the time. You would have to watch the game to really grasp what I'm saying, because Kelsey Mitchell is such an offensive threat that she makes defenses pay a lot of attention. You know what I mean? But let me just go down some of these stats for her this year so people can really understand. Because Caitlin Clark is averaging what, y'all? About 17 points a game. Well, she has a teammate by the name of Kelsey Mitchell, 5'8", 160 pounds, 28 years of age, in the center of her prime, who is averaging 17.7 points a game, shooting 38.6% from the three-point line, ladies and gentlemen. That's elite. Okay? In the WNBA, 38% is elite. In the NBA, you're damn near elite. You're a very good three-point shooter, as the league average is about 33 to 34% across the board. If you're 35, you're about average. 38 to 40, I mean, anything above 35, 37 to 40%, yeah, elite. Uh, and she's shooting 45% from the field as a guard. Now, I know these numbers may not pop off to you, you know what I mean, immediately, but considering the fact that everybody's giving Caitlin Clark MVP chance all of a sudden, uh, I think that is just, how can I say this? I think that is wrong. And just say it simply. I think that it's wrong that Kelsey Mitchell is being overlooked the way she is. And now she has an opportunity to enter free agency. And go, Kelsey, go. Go get your bag, baby. Go get your bag. Go get on the team where you're gonna get your just due. Because I love Caitlin Clark. I hate the media. I hate how fans just omit the contributions of others just so that they can praise their favorite athlete. It's much the same of like the LeBron James effect. If you've been watching basketball as long as I have, and especially if you've been watching the NBA and you're not a LeBron James fan, let me correct myself, a LeBron James stan, okay? Because shout out to my big bro Maui. He's a LeBron James fan. He can have a dialogue, about LeBron James without getting emotional, and he will concede where concessions are needed to be made. He still puts up a good argument for LeBron James, and we do it diplomatically. And sometimes we agree, and most times we don't agree. Me being a Kobe, Michael Jordan guy, but he's a LeBron James fan. You LeBron James stans? Oh no. Y'all the worst. And y'all have perfectly shown these Caitlin Clark fans how to be delusional. Because everybody just seems to think that Caitlin Clark is leading the way for the Indiana Fever. Everybody just seems to think that she is just the end all be all for the Fever, and that is not the case. Caitlin Clark is surrounded by dogs, people that don't get no attention that I've had to bring attention to. What's Mama's name? The center, the Marius. Her initials are double D, and I don't want to butcher her name, but she's a big contributor on the post, sticking defense, hitting threes. Lexi Mole, right? Another guard for the Indiana Fever that takes away all defensive responsibilities, the primary defensive responsibilities from Caitlin Clark. Lexi Mall is literally the reason why Caitlin Clark can walk up and down the court and just shoot logo threes, because she doesn't have to spend all her energy on defense. She got Lexi Mall for that. Nalissa Smith, one of my favorite players, just because she's an energy player. I love energy players. She don't necessarily give you 30 points. She don't necessarily give you 10 rebounds. She can do both, all right, respectfully. But she does all of the things in the game that you may not notice that also contribute to a win, like fighting for rebounds, fighting for rebounds. Just sticking the best defender sometimes, the best perimeter player and or defender, as she is in that. As far as the WNBA goes, she's kind of like a hybrid between a 3 and a 4, but she does a lot, and she's a number 2 draft pick from the 2022 class. A lot of people forget she's elite. She, highly touted for a reason. And then we can get to the Aaliyah Bostons and Kelsey Mitchell, who are fellow All-Stars from the Indiana Fever, who are also teammates of Caitlin Clark. So when I say what I'm saying, it's not that I'm disrespecting Caitlin Clark. It's just that her fans in the mainstream media discount the contributions from her teammates. And I want I would love for Kelsey Mitchell to get her bag, because I would hate for Kelsey Mitchell to fall in that delusional pit of being forgotten because she played with Caitlin Clark, and Caitlin Clark's media circus discounted her legacy. Because we've seen this happen to multiple people over the years. Nobody talks about Ray Allen, in those Miami Heat years. Nobody talks about what's my guy name, Boobie Gibson, who literally saved LeBron James' legacy multiple times. But one Pacific time I recall, he had dropped 36 in a game six, 31 points in a game six to get the Cleveland Cavaliers. I believe that was past the Pistons at that time, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, we've seen this movie before where teammates of who's ever the media darling is are highly discounted on a very disrespectful level, and I don't want to see that happen to Kelsey Mitchell. I've been a fan of the W for quite some years. Kelsey Mitchell is one of those players that, even without me watching as faithfully as I do now, as hardcore as I do now, I knew who Kelsey Mitchell was. I knew she was a baller. She's been around for some years now. I'm not positively sure how long she's been in the league, but she was, you know what I mean? She was essentially the focal point of the Indiana Fever before uh, uh, Caitlin Clark showed up. And I can kind of sense not a bit of jealousy from her, but I can definitely sense that she feels undervalued, not just by, the media attention or anything by that like that, but by the Indiana Fever. Her being a statesman for that organization, being casted aside all of a sudden for a rookie player, right, that hasn't proven anything. Respectfully, Caitlin Clark has gotten all these breakable records because the next rookie, if Paige Backers comes into the league and she's doing all of this stuff that Caitlin Clark is doing, and even better, then all of Caitlin Clark's records are going to go to the drain. You know what I mean? It's not, none of that stuff holds any weight in the long term. It's just a mark of not just her greatness. Don't get me twisted, but it's just a mark of the era that she's in. She's allowed to do more, so she's going to attain those records, but all of those records are very breakable, and that doesn't really mean anything in the long term. Caitlin Clark has not won any championship. She's not etched her name in any sort of permanent history outside of people's enamoration with her. That's the only thing that she really has going for her right now, is that people are overly obsessed with her as if she is a 5-time champion, or something like that. But Kelsey Mitchell has expressed that she is going to explore her options in free agency, that this is a business. And I'm rooting for her, man. I would love for her to come to my Chicago Sky. Not just recruiter. Did I just tamper? But I would love for her to come to the Chicago Sky, and do what she does. I think that she's the perfect kind of player that would help us get to the next phase, as we need a perimeter player that plays not only offense but also defense. Kelsey Mitchell does play I wouldn't say she's the most elite defender in the W, but she does play defense. She does show face on that side of the basketball, in addition to her dropping, again, 25 points on any given night. And in the W, that's equivalent to about 30 points, give or take. In the NBA, she's dropping what would be equated to about 30 points on any given night. And so somebody of her skill set needs to be acknowledged, needs to be, appreciated. And I'm just going off the vibes that she's giving out. I'm going off the last interview that she had prior to the All-Star break, Olympic break being over. And that she expressed that this is a business. She's going to do what's best for her, and I 100% respect that. 100% understand it. Because who wants to sit around all day busting their behinds, putting in all this practice time, putting in all this, putting their bodies and their health on the line, just like y'all's favorite basketball players, and then turning around and having to talk about Caitlin Clark the entire post-game interview. Nobody wants to do that, man. It's really sickening. But again, Kelsey Mitchell is going to be entering free agency this offseason, and I'm very interested to see where she lands. Very interested to see where she lands. And I'm rooting for her to come to Chicago, man. I'm really rooting for her to come to Chicago. This is my hot take down. I'm going to drop a pin in it, and we're going to come back to this when the season is over and see where we at. But that's all I got for y'all on this one. Please like this video, share this video, hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I'm dropping content and going live on the channel as well. If you have not already, subscribe as we drop content daily, go live daily, stay busy on the platform. Last but not least, leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section, as I'm always interested to know what y'all got to say about these topics. I am Tony the Savant. Peace.